I'm going to go ahead and call our emergency meeting to order, declare a quorum of 5 trustees. I'm calling this emergency meeting of the College Station ISD Board of Trustees to order and declare we have a quorum of 5 members present. Board policy BE legal authorizes the board to call a meeting with 1 hour or more public notice when there is an emergency or an urgent public necessity. This meeting agenda has been duly posted for more than an hour and was directly emailed to our local media partners. It's going to take us to item C, which is public comments. Do we have any?
We do not.
We do not. Okay, moving on to item D, open session, consideration, discussion, and possible action regarding emergency roof repairs for Southwood Valley Elementary and Oakwood Intermediate resulting from recent hail and rainstorm events in the amount of $371,026 from Brazos Industries to be paid from the 2020-2021 General Fund. Mr. Martindale.
Mouthful, Mr. Nugent. Thank you, and thank you, members that are able to make it today. Thank you for your flexibility and a very quick turnaround on this particular item. There's nothing like a good monsoon or rainstorm to expose the hail damage to the roof that was already sustained to some of 2 of our school facilities in particular. And if we don't get this addressed in a fairly timely manner, it'll continue to contribute to the issues we're having with the leaks and the water in the buildings that we experienced actually Friday evening and continue through Saturday, required some cleanup. So with more details and a timeline and everything else that goes with it is our CFO, Ms. Strauss, and I know Mr. Hall, Executive Director of Facilities, is here as well. So Ms. Strauss.
Thank you, and I also want to thank you for convening on such a short notice and interrupting your evening tonight. So first, as mentioned, there's really 2 policies that we looked at today. One is CH Legal. It's kind of the same things, but it also says in an emergency where you've had damage or destruction, we also could look to Education Code 44031, which governs purchases, and we don't have to abide by that one either if that delay would cause a disruption to instruction or the safety of our staff or students. But fortunately, with you guys able to convene, we were only looking at BE legal, which says an emergency for those same reasons. We may call a meeting with that 1 hour notice, and it defines an emergency, and I only listed the one that we are under here, and that is a reasonably unforeseeable situation, including fire, flood, earthquake, tornado, wind, rain, that sort of thing. So that's the section that we were able to call this meeting on such short notice. But a timeline of events, the hailstorm that occurred on April 8th that affected our facilities was really county-wide. So that was April 8th. On April 9th, our CSISD facilities staff immediately began touring our buildings for what we call visual damage, making sure everything was good for students the next day and that we were in good shape. The week of April 12th, they, along with a roofing consultant that we have utilized before and has helped us in many situations, starting assessing the buildings, and they determined that we had several buildings that sustained various levels of roof damage. So we've called our insurance agent, and they were actually, the adjuster was scheduled to be here on April 23rd to walk the buildings with us, and they had to cancel due to severe thunderstorms in the area. So they canceled, but then that night or that late afternoon into the evening, we received 3 to 5 inches of rain in this particular area that resulted in significant water leaking at Southwood Valley Elementary and Oakwood Middle School. So that on April 24th, Mr. Hall and his staff immediately got maintenance crews and custodial staff over there to start doing cleanup to ensure that we could open school on Monday. And they also contacted a roofing company that we have used before and is on a purchasing co-op. They've done some very good work for us, and they specialize in these major roof type systems. So they contacted them to see if they would be available to be here on Monday to start developing a plan. So that company is Brazos Industries. They're out of Houston. Like I said, they've done some work for us previously. They're part of Choice Partners Purchasing Cooperative, so we didn't have to go outside of the purchasing policy here to secure someone to help look at it. So they specialize in waterproofing, roofing, damage, and that sort of thing. So they were asked to come to help us determine what a temporary fix would be to prevent this from happening over the next probably couple of months until we get to summer, or we can secure the long term. But they're also helping to work on that permanent replacement or repairs as needed on these. Also, yesterday, Mr. Hall contacted the business office staff, and we had a meeting. They started conversations about funding and how to process this emergency repair. We contacted our insurance representatives to make sure they knew what occurred and what we were doing. And Mr. Ramirez got a quote based on the email. It was about 9 o'clock last night that we did get the quote for both of these schools in the amount of $371,026. So here's just a few pictures to kind of put it into perspective. This top one in the right corner was actually water coming in, I think at Oakwood Middle School. This one's at Southwood Valley. It's kind of hard to see with the lighting, but you can see all the carpet is wet. Here's water coming into the building through the ceiling tiles. You can see this one has water in the light fixture. And this is one of the rooftops right after that hailstorm. So you can see the visual damage there. So just a little conversation. We have talked to, or our insurance representative did look at our policy, and there is a clause in there that said temporary repairs to prevent further damage are allowable within the project cost and our deductible. We have not gotten a confirmation back specifically on this quote, but we were advised by our agent to proceed to prevent the further damage. So it isn't our policy as a statement in there, but we don't have the exact approval on the dollar amount yet, but it's been recommended that we move forward. So with that, I have a recommendation that the Board of Trustees approve a purchase contract award to Brazos Industries under Choice Partners Cooperative 21/021MI in the amount of $371,026 from the general fund. If you approve this tonight, they will be set to get materials delivered tomorrow and get started. Questions?
Our insurance guy really doesn't have a question.
As Ms. Strauss said, the temporary cost should apply to our deductible. Correct, Ms. Strauss?
That's what the policy says, yes.
So I guess the next question beyond that, because this is probably going to take us into the summer as far as just observing and inspecting the rest of the buildings in the district, more than likely, depending on whatever that deductible is, and obviously this price tag here, we could have significant damage in other buildings. We don't know yet, but it won't be another deductible per se because it's the same occurrence from technically April 8th or April 23rd.
Yes, and looking at our policy, we have a $250,000 deductible with a $500,000 max, and this is for wind hail. So with two buildings at this point that will exceed that $250,000, we are into that other policy.
And with this being stated that it's temporary repairs, so all this is going to fall into the claim per se for the permanent repairs, whatever those may be justified at that time,
Yes.
correct? Yeah, okay.
Like I said, we haven't gotten specific approval on this dollar amount and this quote yet, but according to our policy, it's all included.
And John, help me with this one. I think if we had comparable damage at other campuses, we would have found out Friday, just like we did at these two. Is that a safe statement, Mr. Hall?
I would agree with that statement. We were tested pretty hard on every campus on Friday afternoon, and these are the ones that it was just a deluge. So we still have small amounts of damage, but not to this extent.
So, yeah, so that'd be the next question. Is this, and I don't know if there's an answer yet, is this based off of the April 8th event or the April 23rd event that we filed this claim?
April 8th event, the
Okay,
hail, because
so-
this is a direct result of.
Of the hail.
Of the hail.
Okay, and so is it correct to say that the inspection of the other buildings in the district is still going on, and we don't know the extent, whether it is going to fall under that same occurrence?
That's a
Or-
correct statement. It's still ongoing
Okay.
through all of the campuses. So if there is more damage realized, I'm assuming that it would all apply to this as well.
Right, okay.
What about the damage on the inside? Does that cover like anything that needs to be replaced? Carpet, desks, that type of thing?
The way I am reading that at this point, it appears that that could be, that's a separate issue. So we're following up on that one.
Okay.
So I'm just reading the proposal. It shows no warranties, I understand, this temporary repair. But in our opinion, this is going to last us until we can get a permanent solution done,
Yes,
and given the track record of the contractor.
yes. Yes to both of those. This contractor has a very good reputation. They've earned our trust through fixing a couple of really hard leaking issues around the district. But yes, the intent is for this to buy us enough time to get into the roof replacement as required for the full system on these roofs. So.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, do we have any other questions or discussion?
Mr. Nugent, I move to approve this as presented.
I'll second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? All right, without any, all those in favor of of the motion stated, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion passes 5-0. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Let's get it done. All right, with that, we are adjourned.